the simplest tool to help you get things right. There's a story behind that. This is your daily message from Chad number 839 to upgrade your mental game today by telling yourself a better story, because the most important story you hear is the story you tell yourself. And this message is dedicated to Atule Gawade. Here's the upgrade. If you want to get it right, use a checklist. Here's the story. Atule Gawade is a surgeon and author of the Checklist Manifesto. He writes, quote, "Avoidable failures are common and persistent, not to mention demoralizing and frustrating, across many fields, from medicine to finance, business to government. And the reason is increasingly evident. The volume and complexity of what we know has exceeded our individual ability to deliver its benefits correctly, safely, or reliably," end quote. He goes on to say, "That means we need a different strategy for overcoming failure, one that builds on experience and takes advantage of the knowledge people have, but somehow also makes up for our inevitable human inadequacies. And there is such a strategy, though it will seem almost ridiculous in its simplicity, maybe even crazy to those of us who have spent years carefully developing ever more advanced skills and technologies. It is a checklist," end quote. Even experts benefit from reminders. I mentioned Gawade as a surgeon. He started his research in the surgery room. He found simple surgical checklists of the most mundane, stupid things like confirming the side of the body on which the surgery would be performed and having the surgical team introduce themselves to one another reduce the mortality rates of surgeries by 47%. In 1935, Boeing's new plane, despite its impressive capabilities, crashed during a demonstration, killing the pilot. The cause was deemed pilot error. The plane was just considered too complex for a single pilot. Boeing developed a checklist for takeoff, landing, and taxiing, making the plane flyable and crucial in World War II. Van Halen, the glam rock band, had a checklist for setting up their concerts. The production company that was tasked with preparation would be given a contract writer that read like a version of the Chinese Yellow Pages because there was so much equipment and so many human beings to make it function. So just as a little test, buried somewhere in the middle of the writer would be Article 126, a no brown M&Ms clause. If the band walked backstage in the green room and saw a brown M&M in that bowl, the entire production would be line checked. The mistakes could be life-threatening. In Colorado, the band found the local promoters had failed to read the weight requirements and the staging would have fallen through the arena floor. The better story to tell yourself is, I check my checklist to avoid failure and ensure a successful masterpiece day. What is at the top of your checklist? When you have your best days, what have you done? I would submit if you had a checklist of the protocol you followed to avoid disaster and improve success, it would improve the mortality rate of your daily routines. Tell me a story of a checklist helping avoid failure and ensuring success to fromchadsmith@gmail.com. Will you send this to someone you think would benefit from this story right now? You can download my book, The Most Powerful Story in the World, by going to fromchad.gumroad.com. The transcript of this message and hundreds of others are always available at www.fromchad.com.